Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. The Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1963 stands as a fascinating chapter in the story of American coinage, blending history, artistry, and the allure of rarity into a single small coin. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, the 1963 penny is more than just a piece of copper. It is a symbol of a particular era in American history and a gateway into the captivating world of numismatics. Though millions of these pennies were minted, certain versions of the 1963 Lincoln cent have emerged as prized possessions due to their condition, rarity, and unique characteristics that set them apart from everyday change. To understand the importance of the 1963 Lincoln penny, it helps to start with a look at its origins. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was revolutionary for featuring a president's portrait on the obverse, breaking with previous designs that had often used symbolic or allegorical imagery. This change helped humanize American currency, making the coin instantly recognizable and beloved. By 1963, the Lincoln cent was firmly established, yet the details of its minting process and subsequent collector interest were just beginning to reveal how much value it could hold beyond its face. The 1963 Lincoln penny was produced primarily at two U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint's coins typically bear no mint mark, while the Denver coins feature a small D. Despite the sheer volume of coins produced that year, most circulated widely and lost their original luster. However, uncirculated examples, coins that have never entered general circulation, have retained their sharp details, crisp edges, and vibrant copper tones. These pristine coins catch the eye of collectors, who prize such condition as an indicator of quality and rarity. Another critical factor driving the value of the 1963 Lincoln penny is the presence of certain minting errors. In numismatics, these errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, occur during the production process and can create fascinating variations that become highly sought after. For the 1963 penny, a notable example is the double die obverse variety, where Lincoln's profile or inscriptions show a subtle doubling effect that can be spotted under magnification. Coins exhibiting such errors are extremely rare and can command premium prices at auction, turning a seemingly ordinary penny into a numismatic treasure. Collectors also appreciate the 1963 penny for its historical context. This was a time when the United States was in the midst of significant social and political change. The early 1960s marked an era of civil rights movements, Cold War tensions, and cultural shifts. The coin thus serves as a tangible connection to that dynamic period, a small piece of history you can hold in your hand. For many, collecting pennies from this era is not only about the monetary value but about preserving a piece of American heritage. Market demand for high-grade 1963 Lincoln cents has increased steadily over the years, especially as older coins become scarcer due to wear and loss. The coin's copper composition, which would later change in 1982 due to rising metal prices, also adds to its appeal. Collectors and investors alike recognize the enduring value of copper coins from this period, as they represent a bygone era of American minting. When looking at the coin's value, it is essential to differentiate between circulated and uncirculated conditions, as well as the presence of mint errors. While circulated 1963 pennies are generally worth only a few cents above face value, uncirculated specimens graded by professional services can fetch thousands of dollars. The rare error coins, in pristine condition, push that value even higher, drawing intense interest from collectors and investors. In summary, the 1963 Lincoln 1-cent penny is far more than just a common coin. It is a cherished collectible that holds stories of history, craftsmanship, and rarity. Its allure lies in its condition, minting nuances, and the rich context of its era. For anyone lucky enough to find a high-grade, error-free, or error-variant 1963 Lincoln penny, the potential financial rewards can be substantial. Today, some of the finest examples of the 1963 Lincoln 1-cent penny have reached extraordinary valuations, with coins commanding prices as high as $145,000. This impressive figure illustrates the powerful combination of rarity, condition, and history that makes the 1963 Lincoln penny a true gem in the world of American coin collecting. Top 2. In the vast world of coin collecting, few pieces stir as much curiosity and excitement as the humble Lincoln 1-cent penny. While it may seem like a small and ordinary part of our everyday lives, certain years of this iconic coin hold incredible value and significance. One such year that has captured the attention of numismatists and collectors alike is 1966. The Lincoln penny from this year isn't just another copper coin, it represents a fascinating mix of American history, changing minting practices, and rare collectible potential that could make your spare change worth a fortune. So let's take a deep dive into the story, significance, and potential hidden value of the 1966 Lincoln 1-cent penny. First, it's important to understand the historical backdrop of the 1966 Lincoln penny. This was a time of transformation in the United States. The country was emerging from the early years of the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War was escalating, and social and political unrest was simmering across the nation. The U.S. Mint, responding to rising demand for coins and metal shortages, had also started making significant changes in the way it produced currency. Just a year before, in 1965, the Mint removed mint marks from coins in an effort to deter coin hoarding, which was becoming a problem as silver content was being phased out of dimes and quarters. As a result, all 1966 pennies, regardless of where they were struck, do not carry a mint mark, making them unique in comparison to other years where location was indicated. The 1966 Lincoln penny continued to be produced in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gave it that familiar reddish tone. Millions of these coins were minted, and most entered circulation and endured the rough handling of decades in pockets, jars, and cash registers. But a small number were either set aside in pristine condition or simply never entered circulation. Those are the coins that have become extremely desirable among collectors. The appeal of these rare, uncirculated coins lies in their condition, shine, and sharp details. Coins graded in the highest conditions by professional services, those known as mint state or MS coins, can be incredibly valuable. These flawless or nearly flawless examples retain the same crispness and brilliance as the day they were struck. Adding to the intrigue are the error coins from this year. Minting errors, though rare, often elevate a coin from ordinary to extraordinary in the eyes of collectors. For the 1966 penny, errors such as double dies, where the design appears double due to a misalignment in the die stamping process, are especially coveted. There have also been examples of off-center strikes, where the design is imprinted slightly askew, or die cracks, where visible lines from damaged dies appear on the coin's surface. These rare anomalies turn a regular penny into a true collector's piece. The beauty of error coins is that no two are ever exactly the same, making each one a one-of-a-kind discovery. The Lincoln penny design itself is worth mentioning. Created by Victor David Brenner, the design features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse end. For the 1966 penny, the reverse side still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had replaced the original wheat ears design in 1959. This design change was made to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and provided a detailed and impressive look at one of America's most famous monuments. The Lincoln Memorial reverse stayed in use until 2008, making coins from this period a fascinating piece of mid-20th century numismatic design. What makes the 1966 Lincoln penny especially thrilling for collectors today is the possibility that, tucked away in a forgotten roll of coins or lying unnoticed in a desk drawer, there may be a gem hiding in plain sight. These coins are often found in coin collections passed down through families or saved as pocket change souvenirs. If you come across one in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a rare error, you might be holding a coin that could fetch a small fortune in the collector's market. Collectors are drawn to these coins not just for their potential value but for the deeper connection to American history they represent. A 1966 penny is more than metal, it's a tangible link to a pivotal era in the United States. Holding one is like holding a small piece of the 1960s in your hand, a time of change, struggle, and cultural revolution. This emotional and historical connection only adds to its allure and importance among numismatists, and while millions of 1966 Lincoln pennies still exist in circulation, the rarest and most pristine examples, especially those with high grades or minting errors, can be worth extraordinary amounts. These coins are bought and sold through auctions, collectors' networks, and rare coin dealers who recognize their incredible value. While the average coin might only be worth a cent, a flawless specimen with just the right combination of grade, condition, and rarity could surprise even the most seasoned collectors. So if you ever come across a Lincoln penny from 1966, don't toss it aside too quickly. Examine it closely for its condition, check for any unusual markings or doubling, and consider getting it professionally appraised. Because in the world of coin collecting, what looks ordinary could turn out to be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. And as hard as it may be to believe, some of the most exceptional examples of the 1966 Lincoln 1-cent penny have been sold for as much as $130,000. Top 3. When we think about treasure, our minds often jump to golden coins, chests buried under sand, or ancient artifacts hidden in tombs. But what if I told you that one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable treasures could be hiding right in your pocket change? That's right. The ordinary-looking Lincoln 1-cent penny from the year 1973 might just be worth far more than a single cent. Behind its copper shine lies a story of historical intrigue, minting mysteries, and collector obsession that has elevated certain examples of this coin to an entirely different league of value. And if you stick around, you'll learn how one small coin from 1973 could be worth more than a brand new luxury car. Let's start with the basics. The 1973 Lincoln penny is part of a long and beloved coinage tradition in the United States. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the 1-cent coin has become one of the most recognized and widely used coins in American history. By the time 1973 rolled around, the design had already undergone some changes, most notably, the original, wheat ears, reverse was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The obverse still featured Victor D. Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln, making the coin instantly recognizable to nearly every American. Now, you might be wondering, if millions of these pennies were minted in 1973, what makes any of them special? The answer lies in two key factors: condition and rarity. Most of the pennies from that year entered circulation and were quickly worn down through daily use. Over the years, they were handled, scratched, dropped, and collected in jars, losing their luster and detail. But a few of them, they remained untouched. These pristine examples, especially those graded mint state or higher by professional coin grading services, are what serious collectors seek. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything, and even the tiniest scratch can drastically affect a coin's value, but condition alone isn't the only thing that gets collectors excited. The 1973 penny has also become famous for a few remarkable errors and minting anomalies that have sent its value skyrocketing. One such error is the double die, where certain elements on the coin, such as the lettering or date, appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These double die errors are rare and extremely valuable, especially when found on coins in near-perfect condition. Another known error involves off-center strikes or planchets that were improperly prepared, leading to coins that are partially blank or oddly shaped. These minting mishaps transform a standard penny into a one-of-a-kind collectible. What's more fascinating is that the 1973 Lincoln penny represents a period in U.S. mint history when experimentation and changes were quietly occurring behind the scenes. The mint was actively preparing for the switch from mostly copper pennies to those with a higher zinc content due to rising metal prices. While the change officially took place in the 1980s, prototypes and internal tests had already begun. Some numismatists speculate that experimental pieces or transitional errors from this era may have slipped into circulation, adding another layer of mystery and value to select coins from this year. Now imagine stumbling upon one of these rare and nearly flawless coins. You find a 1973 penny tucked away in a forgotten box of childhood memories, or maybe it appears in a handful of change from the local store. To the untrained eye, it looks ordinary. But with the right knowledge, you recognize that it could be a high-grade coin, possibly even containing a rare error. You send it off for grading, and the results blow your mind. Your penny isn't worth 1 cent. It's worth thousands. Maybe tens of thousands. The beauty of coin collecting is that it turns everyday objects into portals of history and potential fortune. These small copper coins have passed through countless hands, across counters, into vending machines and piggy banks. Yet for the patient and sharp-eyed collector, they can transform into treasures with unbelievable value. That's what makes the 1973 Lincoln penny such a fascinating piece, not just for its history or design, but for the possibility that one forgotten coin could change everything. So before you drop your pennies into a coin jar or hand them over at the register, take a closer look. You might be holding a miniature masterpiece, a copper relic that links you to a moment in American history and holds the power to astonish even the most seasoned coin expert. And if you happen to find that one rare specimen in perfect condition, with just the right minting error or provenance, you could be looking at a value not of 1 cent, but $112,000. Top 4. If you've ever looked at a penny and thought it was just another piece of pocket change, you might want to think again. Hidden in the smallest corners of our wallets and coin jars, there are some unexpected treasures that could turn ordinary people into extraordinary discoverers of fortune. One such unassuming treasure is the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a tiny coin that carries a legacy of American history, minting marvels, and a value that far surpasses its face. That we're diving deep into this little copper coin to uncover why it has collectors racing to find it and how one example could be worth far more than anyone ever imagined. The year 1976 was one of celebration in the United States. It marked the bicentennial, 200 years since the Declaration of Independence was signed. Patriotic spirit filled the air, and the U.S. Mint was bustling with activity, producing commemorative coins, experimenting with new alloys, and continuing its regular minting of circulation coins like the Lincoln penny. At first glance, the 1976 Lincoln cent might seem like just another coin in a long line of copper pieces featuring Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile. But as any seasoned collector will tell you, looks can be deceiving. This particular penny holds significance not only because of the era it comes from, but also due to the unique circumstances surrounding its production. In 1976, the Lincoln penny was still being struck primarily from a bronze composition, 95% copper and 5% zinc. This would begin to change in the early 1980s due to rising copper prices, but at this time, the copper-based coins still reigned supreme. However, what truly sets certain 1976 pennies apart are the subtle differences, unusual minting errors, and astonishing conditions in which a few of them still exist today. One of the most remarkable aspects of coin collecting is how small variations in minting can lead to huge increases in value. For the 1976 penny, there are a few types of errors that can make all the difference. One example is the rare double die variety. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned during production, leading to visible doubling of the date, lettering, or other features. While the average person might never notice it, collectors train their eyes to catch these small but crucial flaws. Other desirable errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, or coins that were struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps using metal meant for a different denomination altogether. Then there's the question of condition. Coins that were minted and immediately put into circulation are often scratched, tarnished, and worn down. But every now and then, a coin escapes the chaos of circulation and is preserved in near-perfect condition. These pristine examples, especially those graded by professional services as mint state 65 or higher, become instant collector targets. A 1976 penny in such a flawless state, especially if it has one of the rarer errors mentioned earlier, can become incredibly valuable on the open market. Let's not forget the historical appeal. The bicentennial celebrations were a time of great pride across the country, and owning a piece of that era, especially a rare one, carries emotional and cultural weight for many collectors. This is more than just a coin, it's a slice of history that connects the past to the present, preserved in copper and bearing the face of one of America's most respected presidents. Even though the Lincoln penny wasn't specially redesigned for the bicentennial, its place in the everyday lives of Americans during that patriotic year adds to its charm and allure. Now imagine stumbling across one of these rare and valuable 1976 Lincoln pennies in a forgotten coin collection, or even in a jar tucked away in your grandparents' attic. It might not look like much at first, just a brownish coin with Lincoln's familiar face and a date you've seen countless times. But with the right knowledge and a little luck, it could turn out to be a collector's dream. If it's perfectly preserved, or contains one of those rare minting errors, you might be holding more than just a penny. You could be holding a true numismatic treasure. So before you dismiss that pile of old change, take a closer look. Examine your pennies. Look at the dates, the details, and consider what story each coin might tell. Because hidden in plain sight, in a coin that's traveled through years in hands unknown, you just might find something remarkable. In the case of the 1976 Lincoln 1-cent penny, that little coin could be worth an astonishing $103,000. Top 5. Have you ever wondered if one of those tiny copper coins sitting in your change jar could secretly be worth a small fortune? Most of us glance over pennies without giving them much thought, but sometimes, the most valuable treasures come in the most unexpected forms. Today, we're exploring one such hidden gem from the world of numismatics, the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent penny from the year 1980. While it may appear like any ordinary coin at first glance, this particular penny has been turning heads in the collecting world, and for very good reason. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency since 1909, honoring the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait was the first to appear on a regularly circulating U.S. coin. Over the decades, this humble 1-cent piece has undergone a number of changes in composition, design detail, and minting processes. And while many of these coins passed quietly through countless hands, a few rare examples, like the 1980 Lincoln penny, managed to become numismatic legends thanks to a perfect storm of rarity, error, and exceptional preservation. By 1980, the U.S. Mint was still producing pennies primarily from a 95% copper and 5% zinc composition. This was just before the transition to a predominantly zinc-based planchet in 1982, a decision made due to the rising cost of copper. As a result, Lincoln pennies from 1980 still retain the traditional bronze look and weight that collectors often prefer. But what truly makes certain 1980 Lincoln cents so desirable isn't just their age or composition, it's the possibility of rare minting errors and incredibly well-preserved specimens that send their value soaring. Minting errors are a major reason why certain coins gain extraordinary value. In the case of the 1980 penny, there are several varieties and mistakes that are considered highly collectible. One such example is the double die obverse, where the features on the front of the coin, such as Lincoln's eye, the date, or the inscription, "In God We Trust," appear duplicated due to a misalignment during the die creation process. These errors are not only visually striking but also extremely rare. Other types of errors that have been discovered include off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins accidentally minted on the wrong type of metal planchet. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in determining its value as well. Most 1980 pennies went straight into circulation and suffered the usual wear and tear of daily use. But in rare instances, a coin was either never circulated or was preserved carefully by a collector or mint employee. These pristine examples, especially those that receive a high grade from professional grading services, such as MS-67 or higher, can command massive premiums. For collectors, finding a 1980 penny in mint state condition is like uncovering a rare artifact that has defied time. Collectors are often driven not just by the desire for financial gain, but by the thrill of the hunt. The idea that a single penny could be hiding a secret worth tens of thousands of dollars is what makes the hobby so captivating. It's the joy of discovery, of knowing that there are still unsolved mysteries hiding in plain sight. Each coin carries a journey, where it came from, whose hands it passed through, and how it managed to survive in such excellent condition or with such a unique flaw. And let's not forget the historical context. The year 1980 was a period of transition and change in America, politically, culturally, and economically. Owning a coin from that era, especially one that has proven to be exceptionally rare or valuable, is like holding a piece of that moment in time. It's not just a currency, it's a time capsule that connects the present to the past in the most tangible way. So the next time you spot a penny on the ground, don't just walk by it. Take a closer look. What might seem like just another coin could actually be a remarkable piece of American history, hiding in plain sight. Especially if that penny is from the year 1980, because one such example, thanks to its rarity, condition, and collector demand, has been valued at an astounding $90,000.